This took me like 2-3 weeks, which is not that long. The contest started in May, I think. But at first I wasn't even gonna do a movie because I didn't have an idea for a movie. And then suddenly got an idea for the movie. Ended up making it. That was around the beginning of August when we first started doing the recording and stuff. That was a really hard title to come up with. I'm terrible at naming stuff. I just call it that because I don't know. Nope, not much to talk about there. I mean, a little fancy little text editing there, I guess. The door. Oh, there's Mayor at the top left. I don't know if anyone caught that or not. A little bit of foreshadowing. I don't know how to zoom this in. There you go. Mayor hiding right there. That's the one scene where I had Mayor. It was a little bit foreshadowing before he actually appears at the end of the film. 99% of the winter cabin scenes was just done with just me and Marquis, and we just switched outfits, did a whole bunch of them just all at once. There's only one scene that I had to re-record, which we'll get to that scene later, but pretty much everything was done. All the footage was done just in one day for the winter cabin. Ian's little pose right there. The pose card just came random. I think Ian actually had that idea. We were just messing around. Well, that's a really good pose. We ended up using that. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, saw that pose and wait, that's really good. Let's hold that pose. And that ended up turning out really well. Yeah, this scene, Marquis, that ended up syncing up really well. Them just happening to look up. I don't remember if he did that like just as one of the gestures or that was just one of the idle animations that came up. That ended up being like really good for that scene, so I kept that. Yeah, this routine breaks the bottle. That wasn't the plan at first either. The plan was to have him drop it on the floor, but he ended up launching it across the bar. And I was like, let's just keep shooting. We'll keep that in. It's funny. And in this scene, I actually ended up speeding it up. So it went a lot slower than I imagined. I just sped that up a little bit. You could kind of notice it with Marquis's idol animation that randomly popped up.
The milk coming
This
right
goes
up.
super quick.
There you go.
Yeah, that was that. And then rolling across the bar. I was too lazy to try to line that up. Marquis looking right at the camera. I didn't even notice that until I was nearly done. I was watching the movie a bunch of times. I was like, why is he looking at me? That was funny. I timed this little few minutes later. I think I went and looked up the SpongeBob thing.
A few minutes later.
I literally just put that in to get the timing just down with that. I love that instant flop. I tried to make it as like seamless quote unquote as possible. I figured the snow wasn't too noticeable, so I didn't do anything with that, but I did make it so that the door over in the top right kept swinging. I think I had 2 shots overlaid with this one, and then I like masked the door out so it would keep swinging even when it flopped over like that. It's fun to do. A lot of the script writing that I did, I formed a lot of it around the people that I was like before I even asked them, even like the outfits I chose, and it's really the entire script. A lot of it's written around them. Like all of that la, 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 in the screen. I did that specifically for Kate. I was like, okay, Kate is really silly. He's also really good at screaming, so I want to do this part here with him. Unfortunately, he had to be a dog instead of a cat. I wanted to do the Nemo Plushie thing. And then another thing too, which I didn't specify. I think I specified for everyone else, but I forgot to specify for him. We were supposed to do like 3 takes for each line, and that was supposed to be it. But I didn't really specify that, and it seemed like he was having a lot of fun. But I think we ended up having like 6, 8, like 10 different takes like each line that Kate did. I just let him just keep going. And then the little shock thing, I guess, and the little piano stab, that was 100% inspired by Animal Crossing. And then the little question mark, that's another, Animal Crossing. I love Animal Crossing. A lot. Those 2 little things are inspired by that. The Vixie Ranway there. I think my idea for that was like, I had Marquis using, Vixie skins. Marquis was a fox, so fox skin. And then I think it was either while I was writing the script or while I was recording. I don't remember the idea came, but I was like, it'd be really funny if had Vixie recognize like Vixie, like quote unquote. So I just went and asked her, like, yeah, this silly idea of this movie I'm making. Be really cool. Get this voice line. It's just actually like a whole paragraph, but and then pretty much it for that part. This silly thing that she agreed to do that. And then this part. Oh, I love this part too. I think I got my little Nemo plush. I got my old phone that I used to use, and then I had to hold his arm up with the phone, take the picture. I had tried to get the exact angle of Kate here. I think I got it really close. I messed a little bit with the lighting, have it kind of match up. Yeah, I had to hold his arm up, and then I had to crop out my hand from the shot, so it's just Nemo on the phone. I think I did a pretty decent job, and I was, not perfect, but overall, I think I did pretty good. Animation, I guess I did the keyframing. And then there's this part. I love that part. This took a lot of tries. I'm probably gonna have a blooper thing that's a part just with this, how many tries it took for that. I don't think it took that. It felt like it took a lot of tries. I don't think it actually took that many tries. I think it took like, how many tries did this take? I want to say 4, 5, 6. It took a few different tries. It will break the window, and it didn't go right through the window. We had to reset the cabin to get the window back. And then we had to wait for the fire to come out. I didn't plan on that either, the fire being out. So then I was like, okay, now we gotta wait for the fire to go out, which took like 10 minutes. I ended up timing that out. It takes 10 minutes for the fire to go out in the campfire. In case anyone is curious about that. We had to wait 10 minutes and then re-record that again. Yeah, that took a lot of tries. Kicking the window in from the outside is a lot harder than doing it from the inside. At first I was like, okay, this is really difficult. So I'm just gonna have y'all run in through the door. And then I was like, let's give this one more try. It ended up working out. Marquis at least, he ended up bonking into the wall. I think based on that part right there, that's when I decided, I was like, okay, let's make a Marquis Lody. Well, this is Lody, but let's make Lody the athletic op, I guess. And then we'll make Pitch the clumsy one. I think for this part, it's also kind of funny. I think for the script, I put in like a Lody Noise TM for the script, and I basically just had him record a bunch of noises, and I just picked out the noise to use. That was really fun to do too. There's me getting carried out. I had to re-record that one because at first when I did it, it was just me and Marquis, and you could see the walls disappear because I was the one behind the camera, and then when you walk out the door, the walls go away. When it comes to recording with the camera and stuff, so I ended up re-recording that scene.
Tell it to the judge.
Baby voice. I had Pitch record the whole thing, and then I think I ended up, when I went to edit it, I think I took that part, the little baby voice. I think I pitched it up like by like 2 semitones or something. So I did like a very slight edit with it, just make it just a little higher pitch. Me in jail cell. I had to gather 8 people to do this because I was doing a recording crisis, and in order to start a crisis matching party animals, you have to have 8 people. So it was me, Ian, Marquis, Bliss, Pitch, Murphy, Munchkin, and Lody for the 8 people. And then I ended up having Sindor as well, just because we had to get the right roles. I had to get Yin to get like a venting role, and then just a random other person to get a venting role. We had to line up like equal votes to get them into the jail cell, and then I had Marquis vent out, so that way I had just Yin in there. And then the door opened, because I didn't realize the door opened on its own after like 20 seconds or something. I guess my plan really did work. Perfect. There's me, my little pun, because I love cat puns. I had to put a cat pun in there. I was not gonna miss the opportunity. I had to do that. I really wish I knew how to roll my R's. I could really get that pun in there. There's this scene. I'll let this play all the way.
He just monologued his entire plan, and now we know who did it. After all.
So that entire ending scene, at first, I wasn't even gonna do like this, like from here all the way to the end. I wasn't even gonna be in the movie at first. I didn't have enough time to put that part in. I was like, a whole, let's say 15 or 10-15 seconds over. I ended up being able to trim out like a whole 30-40 seconds or something. This is my first time like directing something, like directing the voice acting and writing the script, doing the music, which we'll talk about that as well. It's my first time really doing something like this. No, this is really fun. This is definitely gonna go on my whatever, my resume or something. This legit could be a good thing to put on resume. I feel like. Now, here's this scene. So for this scene, this is actually Lody right here, who's me. So what ended up happening is when we did the little scene where we had to get Yin and everyone in the, or Yin and Marquis in the jail cell, when we had to do that scene, Lody just so happened to have face-off killer, and he was also using this outfit here. So I was able to record that scene with him as well. I even tell him to use this outfit. He just, that's part of why when I using the outfits and stuff as well when I was recording, I had this outfit be used because I kind of just knew that he was gonna choose this, and also that's just this outfit I see him use a lot. So I ended up, that's why I had this outfit for him. Just because that was an outfit I saw him use a lot. And it ended up fitting well for the whole police thing. Yeah, this scene, this was Lody as me with face off. Lody basically transformed into me, and then we basically just redid that scene again, walking away from the jail cell. That ended up working out really well too. That was just a big coincidence. And then this scene, when I first did this scene, like my first draft of this, there is nothing on these screens. And then I was watching do it a few times. I was like, it'd probably be good if I had something on this, the big screen right there in the middle. I have the security footage there, that'd probably flow really well. So I ended up doing a bit of fancy masking to fit the screen. Put the footage there. I also had to zoom in the footage a lot. I couldn't turn off the UI, so there was like the map, there's a little button controls. I had to zoom in just far enough so you couldn't see it. And then 2 other screens, I decided, I'm putting something in the middle screen. I might as well put something on the side screens as well. So
Just Monologue
on the left screen, Pitch getting punched in the face by me. And then on the right screen, that's Sindor getting stuff going. And then for this part as well, it's really hard to tell, which I could probably zoom it in here. If you bring this up, you got this part where Lody did his little idle animation. When he stops doing the idle animation, his ear goes over this screen, and when you put video stuff in, it's gonna go over whatever you have. So I basically had to do a mask over Lody's ears, or really just the left ear. But when I was trying to track it, I realized that tracking in Adobe Premiere Pro is terrible, especially when you have the really specific, strands of fur and stuff here. So I basically had to go frame by frame and edit the mask so it fit the ears as close as possible. At a certain point, I was like, okay, this is close enough, so I'll keep it like that. It's really hard to notice. I probably didn't even have to do that, but it's one of those things where it's like no one else is going to notice it, but I'm going to notice it. So I need to fix it. I basically have to go frame by frame here to get the ears on top of the screen there. Hard to show it, but kind of see right here, ears over here, right there. You can kind of notice right there where I kind of sort of gave up a little bit for 1 frame. I was like, it's fine. Fun fact, I had this really goofy clip on the left side and that pitch clip on the right side in the first draft from my short film. But then I was like, maybe it doesn't look very evil here. Oh. Plus it's from a completely different game, so I took that out. Am I slipping or something?
Oh no!
And then that's the last scene right there, right towards the camera. At first I was like, I want to do the thing where you run towards the camera and then drop kick. Then I remembered you can't run or drop kick in Crisis. You can only walk really slow. So I had to speed up the footage there to have it fit how I wanted it to. And I'm bumping into the camera. That was not planned either. And I was like, keep that in too. Fits with the whole clumsy personality. And I added a little sound effect there. And that's it. In question mark. How's that? That question mark there. So I'm probably gonna make a sequel to this because it's really fun to make. I want to do something like this again. Maybe there's another Oscars contest, or just just to do it just for fun. And then that's that. Now the music. I love doing the music. I love music. A lot longer than you hear in the movie. It's a whole extra 30, 40 seconds or something there. That was inspired by the main song that plays in the winter cabin. I think it's called Forgotten or something like that. It follows the kind of same style as that one. But I ended up having a lot of fun with making that song. So I ended up just making it a whole thing, the little piano solo at the end. That was really nice to do. That's probably not just being nice. I guess the main theme of the movie. Minute 38 seconds. I think in the movie itself it only plays for about 40 seconds or something. There's a small thing as well. In the movie, I have it mixed down into mono. Just the kind of idea for that was like, you got the jukebox that's in the cabin, and I made it mono to kind of, I guess, simulate the feel of it playing on the jukebox. Then when I go to actually post it, like as an official release, I have it in stereo. Next, police theme. That one wasn't really inspired by anything. I didn't really have anything in mind when I was making it. I kind of just made something that sounded like it would fit. That was a completely original thing. I wasn't like inspired by anything. It wasn't a remix of anything. It was just a little police theme. That was also a lot longer than how it plays in the movie. There's another version that just for the movie. I'm probably not going to put it on the soundtrack, but there's this. It's basically just a stripped down version of it. When I was making it at first, I was like, this saxophone's going a little crazy. You can't really hear them talking. So I only had it for that first part, and I just made it, and I brought it down to where I just had the drums and the bass, and then just the drums would fade out in the movie. I love slap bass. I put some slap bass in there, and a little saxophone solo. That's not in the movie either. I just did that just because. Also, here's the piano stab. You want to hear that as well. Very Animal Crossing inspired for that part. There's also this as well. A little extra little piano notes, which I felt like that didn't fit, so I took that part out. Next, we have our monologue. Making that one's really nice too. Now this one might be a little hard to hear. This one is a partial remix of Gasoline. I think I changed the key of it. I think I had brought the key down a few notes or brought it up a few notes. You can mainly hear it's mainly in the little and then here's the next one. This is a reprise of the police theme. I love that little what do you call that? It's just called a shake or a trill. Shake or a trill. Yeah, that's what that was. I love that. I love the sound of that. That and the extra trumpets I put in there, the extra horns I put in there really help bring in the intensity of that final scene. Got a little open hi-hat. That's not in the first one. That's just for the reprise. That little ding there. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like the little wind up too. That really helped bring that ending part together. And then we have the trailer music. This random trailer that I did. I just felt like it. I made it like the whole thing, including the music. I made it in like 30 minutes or something. Yeah, I just made that just really intense for no reason. And that one is a remix of All the People. That's what I call it. One of the menu songs that plays in Part Ambulance. One of my favorite songs that plays. That's a remix of that. So I ended up finding that sample. Apparently I just have it. It's like an Apple Loop sample apparently.
People in the middle or the alley wanna bump, and everybody who just paid and people snuck up in the trunk. For the people
in the middle or the alley wanna bump, and everybody who just paid and people snuck up in the trunk.
How much to say about that one? That's just a really dramatic remix of that song. You got the cliche like piano note there, a little impact stuff. I just layered a whole bunch of impact sounds I had. And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching the behind the scenes.